scale with me. But anyway, thank you for being here. I am the CSP liaison for the chapter this year, and a CSP is a Certified Speaking Professional. And it's a designation given by NSA when you've achieved a certain level and done things like submitting a video of yourself on live, doing 20 evaluations from your clients, documenting a 10-year period of your speaking engagement. So it's a lot of work, and I was honored to get that in 2015. What is important to know is that a benefit of having a CSP is you get to go to the CSP Summit. I went to the one in San Diego in December, and the topic there was scale or fail. And so I wanted to share my learnings with you today. So first I'm going to talk about why speaking is not business. I'm going to talk about the 5 phases of scaling, and then 8 ways that you can scale the stage and get off the road. Sound like a plan? Mm-hmm. Okay. When I first started in 1991, you didn't hear the word scaling. I don't even know that it was a concept, because the business was the keynote. You were on the road and you did one keynote after another. But we know today in 2020, that is not a sustainable model. And here's why. First of all, it's all you. You have 24 hours, and so that puts a cap on your income. It's also a big hustle to get one gig after another. And it's economy dependent. So that means if it's a bad economy, the first thing that gets cut is the conference and conventions. And if it's a good economy, then you're a road warrior and you burn out. And if you burn out, you can't do a lot of work anyway. So there is a better solution, and that is to scale your business. So why would you want to scale? Because when you scale your business, you can duplicate yourself. You have more opportunity to find new revenue sources. That means you have more time to be home and to enjoy your life, and you have more opportunities. So that helps you have peace of mind. Now, the person who spoke, and the topic was scaling at the summit, the person who spoke about it was named Allison Maslin, and she wrote a book called Fail to Scale. And I asked her if I could share these 5 phases of scaling, and she gave me permission. So I'm going to go through these very quickly. The first phase of scaling is called the pioneer. And that's where we are usually when we start out, and that's where a lot of people remain. And here you are the chief cook and bottle washer. You're doing everything. You do the content creation, you do the delivery, you do the marketing, you do the sales. So it's all about you. Now the second stage, the pioneer, is where you start to hire employees. They could be 1099s, but you might have a bookkeeper, you might have an assistant, and so you're starting to delegate just a bit, but it's still you. You have to show up, you're making the direction, you are doing the work. Stage 3, the ringleader. It's called the ringleader because it seems like a bit of a circus at this point, meaning that you now have teams. So you have small little teams, and you might have a finance team, or you might have someone in business development who's teaming with someone. And so the delegation is easier, but you still have to connect with them, you have to set the direction, you have to manage people. So an example of that would be when I was working with an assistant, and then I had an intern, and I had her managing the intern in a day-to-day. So that was a mini team. Following that is the co-creator. So now you're getting partnership into the deal. So you have managed teams. You're hiring people to manage a team. And so they're coming up with their own solutions. They're co-creating with you in terms of innovation, in terms of customer retention. So they're coming up with their own ideas of how do we satisfy customers? How do we innovate? But again, you're setting the direction and you are showing up doing the work. The final stage is the visionary. And this is where you truly have a small business. You might have somebody who is your chief operations officer, and they're really running the business for you. You actually, at this point, can step away from your business. You may choose to sit in on meetings from time to time. You have set the vision, but they're really running it on their own. I find that most of us in the speaking industry generally don't get to that level. It's actually running a small business. And I know some of us in the area here do. Who would say they're at the visionary? Yeah, I would think so, visionary stage. All right, so then how do you begin to scale? I want to talk about 8 ways that you can scale the stage. And some of us are doing a lot of these things already. The first way you can scale the stage, meaning you don't have to show up and you can still make money, is to create a digital product. How many of you have a digital product? Could be an ebook, a podcast. So the benefit here is you have it on your website, they go to the website, they put a credit card, and ka-ching, you've made money without having to show up. Second one, online classes. Now, online classes are digital, but I put that there because it's a separate business. I know Anna has a really high-level online program. It takes a lot more energy and time because you need that back office for the technology, but once it's set up, people go there over and over, and you have an ongoing revenue stream. Again, it's you, but you're not showing up. Membership programs are different in that it's you running a community. So at this point, you're building a community, and people are meeting with you either once a week, once a month, around your expertise. So maybe you're showing them entrepreneurship, or maybe you're teaching them how to be more effective in selling or branding. Sometimes it can be in person, but often it's virtual. Now, the other way that you can do this without even showing up is some membership programs are about content. So you pay a membership fee monthly, and every month you get new intellectual property, new content, new ideas, and you're not even showing up. Anyone here have a membership program? We do have a member, Morquesa, has a very robust membership program. Then you have licensing. Now, let's say I wanted to sell my presentation, knockout presentation seminar. What I could do is I could go into a company and go in, train their trainers, and then their trainers would be licensed to do my program. They would buy my materials, and every time they did a program, they would pay me a licensing fee. Again, you don't have to show up. Related to that, but not entirely the same, is certification. Let's say there's a keynote speaker, and that person, I'm not using the pronouns, that person wants to, thank you for influencing me, that person wants to be a coach, but they don't have any training as a coach. Well, they would come to me or to you, and then they would learn through your training, either online or in person, how to be a coach. And then you would give them a certificate. So they wouldn't necessarily be using your products or materials, but they would now have the know-how and the skills, and they would go out. So this is more of a one-time process, but you can do it in groups, and you can do certificates over and over again. Again, you're not on the road. Now, subcontractors. When I first started out, I had Chase Manhattan Bank as a client, and I was working with the relationship managers. And at one point, my contact said to me, Diane, I cannot have people off the job for 4 consecutive days. Is there a way that you could bring someone else here? And I said, sure. So that was the beginning of subcontracting. I found good trainers, trained them, and then we brought them in, and we did 4 sessions all on the same day, because we had 4 different trainers. So I got my full fee, and they got a fee, and I got a percentage of their fee. Not bad for a day's work. Now, another way that you can do this is if you don't have a big company, you could train somebody in your product, say an individual at NSA, and then let's say they want a presentations program, they want to do sales training. Okay, now they have another product, it's yours, and they are going to be doing it on your behalf. Sponsorship is the 7th way. Who knows Ramon Ray? Right. He's the guru on sponsorship. He deals with all the big companies. But you don't have to have Microsoft or Verizon in order to be a sponsor. Let's say you're doing a teleseminar or a telesummit. And so you have all of these different speakers who are coming in on your telesummit. But you know people who would love to be in front of your audience because you have a big list. So what you do is you sell a sponsorship. Either they create an ad on your site, or they have an affiliate link for their product, or you could actually have them call in and do a quick commercial, but they've paid for those spots. Again, more money, you haven't been out on the stage. And then finally, franchising. Most of us will not go this route, but let's say you have such a viable small business that you say, instead of expanding and adding more people, I'm going to duplicate this like Starbucks. And so you train people in how to do your program. It's the exact same company, same name, same products, but now you're getting a percentage of all their profits. So this is one way that people can expand nationally or globally. So these are ways that you can easily scale the stage. Now, when I asked Allison Maslin, at what point should we be thinking about scaling, she said, right from the beginning. I didn't know this when I started, but you know what? It's never too late. So think about where you are in the 5 phases, and think about how you want to scale your business so that you have other sources of revenue and that you don't always have to be the one delivering the service. Now, what my specialty is presentation and communication. So I want to leave you all with some resources. When you go to my website, Diresta.com, you'll find a free newsletter and an audio course called 7 Deadly Mistakes That Speakers Make and How to Avoid Them for Maximum Success. I invite you to go there. I also have the link to my book, Knockout Presentations. It will take you directly to Amazon. This book, I'm happy to say, is in its 3rd edition, and it is used not only in companies, but also as a text in certain colleges. And then finally, I have over 100 videos on YouTube. So I want to thank you for being here today, and it's never too late to scale. So let's all scale rather than quit.